Hello, everyone. This is Jimmy Cultist, back again with another exploration game tutorial. Today I'm going to be covering notes and messages, however there's some quick stuff I want to go over before we do that. The animation error in our puppet that was causing problems was actually to do with his procedural run. If we just press triangle over the heels, it does away with that problem. It was very odd. Never seen anything like that before, but it's fixed. Another thing I want to talk about is I've sort of set the scene for some future videos, added some slight furnishings here and there, and you'll notice this little thing, but just ignore it for now. It's going to be floating there. Today we're going to be working on how to add notes. However, before we do that, I'm going to do some quick adjustments to our little safe here. There currently are no directions for how to use it, so basically what I'm going to be doing is just adding a few for the sake of, understanding and clarity. Go ahead and, wrong one. Press up, not O. Always remember to do this sort of thing, because the player, sometimes there's some things you can assume if you've been playing games long enough, but occasionally you want to leave some kind of hint for people, just in case they don't quite get the point. If we just hook this up here, actually we could do something a little bit more, just put out a little handy dandy microchip. We can stick the text in there. That way we don't need to be powering multiple on, we can just power the whole microchip. Should be fairly simple. Now we're going to do the same thing with the left. Butterfingers, always putting words where there are none. And we'll move this over here. And we should be right as rain. Let's give it a quick test. Alright, they seem to be appearing pretty good, only I might want to move this just a tad, move it down. And you could display this however you like. I don't really know if you have to do it in this particular fashion. Might be confusing, actually. But anyway, there's one other thing we're going to have to do, and that's X to try, and we're going to add a little sound effect, a click, to indicate when you're trying to open it. Oh, actually, we could just put it in here. Turn off that. We want it to be heard no matter where you are. Although you won't be hearing it anywhere else but here. But it'll save on zones if there's no audio zone. And we'll want something for when it's unlocked. Oh, I think we already have that. But this is just some refinement to our safe. We could maybe even also add some sounds for when it's... Add some sounds for when we're turning the dials. But anyway, that's just some real quick refinement to that. The main thing we're actually going to be focusing on is how to create notes, which is pretty simple, to be honest. We're going to go ahead and copy this out because we're going to be using it. We're not going to be using all the logic though, so just double tap X and then press triangle. We're going to make this green so that it shows up real well. Use grid snap to shift it around. But this is basically going to be our universal note block, or whatever you want to call it. Retitle it to notes. Not necessary, but if you want to remember things, it might be a good idea to do that. And I think that it's going to be very similar to what we set up here with our little prompt. We might as well just copy that out, because it's basically going to be the same thing as a prompt, except we're going to be moving the zone over here, as always. And also, you want to make sure that no one can interact with the zone unless they're in the right position. So we might move this over. You want the block to generally be the center of attention in these situations. And we're just going to copy this out, change it to tag, and change its target tag to use. And we're going to change our prompt to read. Now, I've talked about how to create dialogue, and creating notes is pretty much the same thing in very many regards. So we're just going to go ahead and type out something to say. Dear Dali, I am in the pits of despair. Send me watermelon, I think. I think watermelon's one word, but who cares? Now this is going to be our note. And there's multiple ways you can go about displaying this. I'm going to try the most simplistic way, which is just to stick it up on the screen. And we're going to create a little prompt here. The prompts are all located here in case you're interested. Just a little refresher. And we're going to turn on the X prompt for read more. I don't know if we're actually going to have more to read, but this is just how you would do it if you wanted there to be more. Make the note a little smaller. And we can kind of make the note look a little bit more, what do you call it? Like paper. You can even change the font if you want it to be more handwritten. Although I would be careful if I were you. Sometimes it's kind of hard to read this stuff. If it's very, you know, scribbly like that. But we're going to go ahead with that. And we're going to delete this. Instead, hook this up here. Another thing we're going to do is take out a microchip. Take out a node, connect it to the microchip. And then hook the text active output to that node. Basically all this is going to do is when our text is active, this microchip will also be active. So if we stick this in here, well actually no, copy this and stick it in here. So that when this is active, the prompt will no longer be visible. And we're going to go ahead and copy this just one more time. It's easier to copy it with the node, so you won't have to open this up again and go to text active output. So copy them with the node if you just want quick and easy results. And we're going to take down the read more option and just have close. And the further reading will be I suffer without my melon. Little Aragon reference, John Malkovich, really good stuff. Anyway, let's go ahead and give this a try. Dear Dali, I am in the pits of despair. Send me watermelon. I suffer without my melon. Now you'll notice that our character is able to move while he's reading this, which is not super desirable. So all you have to do is stick a camera in here, set it to cut, and disable controller sensor right here. Just make sure you see it. Pull the camera back a bit. Or if you wanted to have something more, you know, dynamic, you could have it looking at the note. Speaking of the note, we might as well cover something while we're looking at it. You can have a little bit more, we could have some writing on that note. It doesn't have to say anything in particular, I suppose. It could just look more fancy. Or just snap the surface. You remember that's done with L1 and R2. Well, let's just put some gibberish for the sake of this note. So that we'll have something to display. And we're just going to go ahead and use in-scene, sticker mode. Shrink it down. Turn off the text box background. Make the text black. Although you could really just make it any color you wanted. Shrink it down just a little bit. You want it to be a little bit more even. And we'll go through this till we get something really scribbly that might be pretty hard to see even from a distance. Although with our camera focusing on it, it's probably going to be blatantly obvious that it's gibberish. But from a distance, you know, it kind of looks about right. Let's maybe not focus our camera on it. That way we can't see that it's gibberish. Just pull it back a little bit. To scope into the camera, you just do L1 and X. And then to leave, make sure you press that little button, otherwise, you know, you might move the camera accidentally. Let's go ahead and take a look at that. Finally replace the door sounds with something other than farts. Now, because we moved our thing over a bit, you could move this to be on top of the note, make it more natural looking. And as you can see, we can't move. So that's pretty perfect. We've got a little note here. And you can add all sorts of notes to your game. And have all sorts of ways of doing it, but this is probably the simplest and the, what would you say, the easiest way to do it. I couldn't think of anything better myself. So that's pretty much all for now. I will give a little shout out to monthly subscribers on Coffee. Their names are going to be passing by any minute now. There they go. But that's it. Hope you found this helpful. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. And don't forget to ring the notification bell so you never miss another video. If you wish to support our earnest insanity, you can check the links in the description to donate or buy merch. Until next time, goodbye.